how did that go? Like, how did the idea pop up and then end up being created, kind of like process wise?
Yeah. So first of all, I just get tingles when you're like the Blitz team, and I get tingles because it's such a wonderful team.
Yeah.
So first off, the core from Berkeley, the product side, like I wish that we got to work more closely, but for the most part, they were in Berkeley. But Rick came down a lot, Joanna came down a lot, and the Jonathans and Sean came down a good amount. But the first couple months, it was all. I know I'm going to jump around, but the first couple months was all me. So basically, it was me and a bunch of contractors building a facility, and then Rick being like, "You're spending all my money. When are we going to start creating content?" I'm like, "Just trust me." So that was a little scary, but anyways, what I needed to do was I had to create the baseline product in order to attract the right people, because I knew that if we just started hiring people out of being like, hey, come work for an esports organization, we weren't going to get the right people. So I created the best product that I could think of, that I was good at, that I liked, which is doing an interview series. And from that interview series, that attracted the right people. And so like Sharon for League of Legends, oh my gosh, like I'm going to go through different people for the team for the Blitz, and I'm going to preface this with saying all of them are so much better at what they do than I am, and that's why one, they got hired, and then two, why Blitz is so great. My claim to fame for that is recognizing the right people and kind of setting them in the right direction. But for the most part, like Blitz content are these people. So Sharon came on with League of Legends, and she was an editor-in-chief for another company before, and she just went. And so for the most part, like I taught her how to do all the technical stuff of cameras and lighting and like whatever. But for the most part, she was just ready to go, and she just wanted a place in which that she could do the work. Right. And with Rick, with the contributors, like it was great. And then Mark as an editor, I am a methodical person when it comes to hiring. I usually interview up to about 150 people face-to-face, at most minimum 20 people face-to-face, to make sure that you get the right person. Because once you do, then you don't have to think about them other than what can I do to help you? And so that's the whole team. So Mark, the editor, it was so funny because we went through all these applicants, and then Mark did his, and he actually showed up a week early and ended up interviewing for the company upstairs for like a half an hour until they said, you have no experience in this job. So eventually the following week when he came downstairs, he interviewed, and he's just amazing. And then Alex, you came on for Counter-Strike, who just has been doing it for 16 years. And I met him at ESL 1 New York, and just, I remember thinking like, I'm going to work with this guy. I don't know when or where, but like, I'm going to work with this guy. And so sure enough, when, the job posting came up, I was like, please come. And he did. And he just continues to make amazing Counter-Strike stuff, in which that I think is the best in the scene. And then and then Alex Monahan for motion graphics and editing as well. Like he just does this amazing job with the infographics, with the explainers, and all that stuff, and just and it's just I'm going to sideline. It's such a joy to work with that team and just be in that room, because there's this creative energy in which that we just throw things out and then pick it apart and just say like, we can do better. We can do better. And, and what's so fun about the team as it's grown is just, you have these amazing individuals who then iron sharpens iron. They end up like competing for themselves, but also within the group as well. Right. Like Mark keeps on like going over to Alex's computer and says, nice graphics, and then steals what he has. And then Alex is like, I gotta take his stuff, whatever. And then we got Josh for Overwatch League. And I remember like we had contacted him before because he had worked with Alex Yu, and knowing again, like I was like, I want to work with this guy. I don't see a fit yet. But as soon as Overwatch League, it was PUBG actually. He started doing PUBG content, but then we fell into Overwatch and he just got it. So it worked so serendipitously. And then so Josh, Alex, Mark, and Sharon, and then we have a whole team of contributors, Shakarez, and I'm going to forget all the other people, but just there is a wealth of contributors. And whenever you watch Blitz content, please look at the description and the the contributors, because those are the people who help make it run. So when you look at Blitz Esports content, just remember that it is a team of people and not just one person. And so that's Blitz Esports, and that's how it's made. I did kind of go off on a long tangent, but I hope
no, that's actually it's fantastic, because also it's like awesome to see like the passion, and it's just good to know that Blitz Esports is indeed like this hub of like awesomeness that people that want to go for journalism and stuff within esports are usually like looking towards them. Like I know that in the whole array of like content creation, it's like, wow, I want to make things like Blitz Esports, because it's just, you always see it on the front page of Reddit for whatever sub that you're looking for. And I did like the touch of just the contributors, because that actually is perfect for like another question. I know you did a video. I want to say, maybe I might be off. I definitely saw it like a month ago or something, but it was about League of Legends, and it was your voice. I do recall your voice, but it was someone else's. Like I think it was Shakaris. I think it was his like content. So how scripted are the videos? Like, would you just read off like what he said, or like how much would you need to know about it? Like, it was just pretty much like you just read it. They just used your voice. They're like, yeah, just Mark, just read this. Like, how did that usually go?
I have a face for radio, I guess, but I am the beautiful voice behind the smart people. I turn off my brain and I read the smart person's script.
Okay.
So those contributors, I will re-emphasize, the contributors are the people who really help make it go. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's good to know, because like, I never knew like how much did you need to prepare for it. It's just like, for some things, it's obviously for your own content, it's like you needed to prepare in the sense of like, I need to do the research and stuff, but like in other things, like once it came.
I think the biggest contribution I did, at least in the beginning, was just trying to make it so that I would understand, or like more novice people would understand. So a lot of it was, this is too complicated, you need to break it down more in the beginning. But then it was, people kind of took off and understood kind of the structure and the format that we were trying to go for. So there were word changes, there were minor corrections, but for the most part, and that's where the producers would come in, Alex, you and Sharon and Josh, and would say, change this. And so yes, the contributors are really great, but also then that's where the producers come in and they really hack apart what the contributors put in. So it's a very collaborative effort.
Right.
But I just talk.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I mean, not necessarily you just talking. I'm just saying like the whole.
No, I got what you're throwing out there.
Oh no! All my chances in esports are dead now.
Mark knows the right people.
So enjoy this. Enjoy this podcast.
I think it's really interesting, because now that esports is getting so much more legitimate, there's so much more funding behind things, and organizations getting a part of it. It's a lot harder or it can seem a lot harder for people that it's like, hey, I'm 18. I want to do this stuff, and then just doing it, especially when you see Blitz Esports. Like when I started trying to create like nice looking video content, it was like, wow, there's a lot to do, and I have to learn all these things, and then I have to be good at voice acting, and then I have to be like a good writer, and it can be really intimidating, because you forget that Blitz Esports is not like your voice and face is there, but it's not you just doing everything. You have a huge team of very qualified, very tenured people that have been working on this for a long time. So I think that's a really nice reminder, and something that I've been going through recently. Just like, you start somewhere, you create good content, you work on it, you build up a portfolio, or you just keep grinding, you get better and better. And then eventually, hey, Blitz Esports has an intern position open and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot compete with a team, as you were saying, of well-seasoned people who this is all they do is just the writing. All they do is just the voice acting or whatever it is. And so the best thing that you can do is, one, become the specialist in that one thing, whatever it is that you're passionate about, but then also appreciate, like, do the little things, do a little bit of editing and graphics and whatever, so that you understand it, you appreciate it. And more importantly, that when you do enter into that team atmosphere, that you're able to communicate with the rest of the team. But in order to get into that door, you have to be a specialist in at least one main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think actually that's a good point because I went to school for video game design and development, and a lot of it is like working in teams, and it's like I'm not a coder at all. I just do like 3D, or I would do like the 3D models and stuff before like shifting into esports. But it's like exactly that. It's like, yeah, I do the art side, but I need to know the coding just so I know like how I can help the team. How like, you know, it's because you don't want to be stepping on each other's feet, which I think is like the great balance that at least we see from Blitz, you know, like, and obviously you saying it's like, okay, so it is kind of like that. It's not necessarily just hectic and it's like, yeah, sometimes things worked out. It's just like a consistent like flow of good content.
It's a great environment. It's a really great environment.
So I think the next ongoing question is, would you just let us know how you landed where you are now? Because we know that you've transitioned now from Blitz Esports into a professional team. So do you mind just kind of giving us a little rundown on that?
Nice shirt. Yeah.